Love is not something you wait for. It is not something you stumble upon accidentally, nor is it something the world outside delivers to you in a neat, wrapped package. True love is first a matter of imagination, a deliberate shaping of the inner world before it manifests in the outer. You see, the universe does not move blindly. It responds to the images you hold in your consciousness. If your mind is filled with longing and uncertainty, the world reflects hesitation. But if your mind is rich with certainty, with the feeling that love is already yours, the world must conform to that feeling. Every glance, every word, every encounter becomes a confirmation of what you have assumed to be true. A love confession is not a wish, it is a reflection of the state you occupy in your imagination. If you would have someone speak words of devotion to you, if you would have them look at you with longing and admiration, you must first inhabit that reality fully, as though it were already true. Your inner conversation, your secret thoughts, your private imaginings, they are the seeds from which your outer reality blooms. Do not waste your precious energy pleading with the world. Let your imagination do the work that the senses cannot. Many stand at the threshold of love, afraid, uncertain, holding back, as if love were a gamble instead of a certainty. They think the outer world must first show proof before they commit their hearts. But the truth is that the outer world is always obedient to the inner state. If you cultivate within yourself the living, breathing experience of being loved, if you speak to yourself in thoughts of joy, anticipation, and fulfillment, the outer world cannot resist conforming to that inner reality. When you fall asleep tonight, imagine clearly that the confession of love you desire is already spoken. Feel the weight of the words, the sincerity, the warmth, the tenderness, as though they have been poured over you already. Let this become your last thought before sleep, the curtain that closes on your day. As you dream, your imagination, unhindered by resistance, begins to weave the threads of your desire into the fabric of your life. Telepathy is not a mystery, it is simply the language of feeling. When you occupy the state of being loved, you transmit this vibration to the one you desire, and they are drawn inexorably into it. Your certainty communicates itself without words. Your faith, your joy, your inner knowing, all speak louder than any spoken confession. There is a tremendous power in assumption, in believing that your desire is not far off but already here. You do not ask the universe to bring it, you inhabit it, and the universe conspires to reveal it to your senses. Imagine a world where the one you love steps into your life and speaks the words you long to hear. Do not imagine it vaguely. Do not let it float in the fog of possibility. And imagine it vaguely. Do not let it float in the fog of possibility. See the exact scene, feel the exact emotions, hear the inflections of voice, the sparkle in the eyes, the gentle brush of a hand, the trembling of anticipation. Enter into that state with the conviction that you are already there. The universe does not distinguish between your thought and reality. It simply responds to the fullness of the feeling you occupy. This is not wishful thinking, it is the law of creation. You are not waiting for love, you are not begging for it, you are assuming it. You are holding it, pressing it close, letting it saturate every moment of your inner life until the outer world must bend and respond. When the world perceives your state, when your joy is unwavering and your certainty complete, it has no choice but to manifest the reality that corresponds to the life you already live within. Doubt is the enemy, hesitation the thief of your joy. The moment you begin to question whether love is coming, whether the confession is imminent, you surrender your power to the outer senses. But if you hold your mind firm, if you persist in the living experience of fulfillment, you begin to see subtle signs, almost imperceptible at first, that the universe is aligning itself with your imagination. A glance that lingers, a message that seems timed perfectly, a word that strikes the heart with resonance. These are not coincidences. They are proof that the state you occupy within is translating itself into outer events. You must become the person who has already received the confession, who has already been loved in the deepest, most intimate way. This is not arrogance. It is recognition of your divine creative power. You are the painter of your life, the composer of its symphony, and love is the masterpiece that emerges from your persistent, faithful imagining. As you persist, as you refuse to doubt, you find that the confession comes not as a result of begging or seeking, but simply because the outer world cannot deny the truth of what is already living in your consciousness. Consider the subtle dance of thoughts and feelings. When you are lonely, when you are anxious, when you focus on what is missing, you broadcast emptiness, a vacuum that attracts uncertainty and delay. But when you feel the warmth of love within, when you smile to yourself in private, knowing that your desire is complete, when you whisper in your own heart the words you long to hear, you radiate certainty and abundance. The mind is a powerful transmitter, and feelings are the language that the universe understands. If you consistently occupy the state of being loved, if you live in the emotion of fulfillment, your beloved cannot help but respond. Your inner world is the script, the blueprint, the unspoken direction that the outer world must follow. There is no magic in pleading. The magic is in the living, breathing certainty of what you already have. You do not chase, you do not persuade. You simply assume, you persist, and the universe delivers. It has no choice but to reflect the state you inhabit. And when the confession finally comes, it will feel inevitable, natural, as though the universe itself leaned in and whispered that love has always been yours to claim. The process is simple, yet it requires courage. You must dare to live in the reality of your desire before it manifests. You must feel it fully, vividly, without reservation. When the heart is filled with certainty, when every thought whispers the joy of fulfillment, the world mirrors this reality. Telepathy, unseen connections, subtle attraction, all of these unfold naturally when the state is sustained. You do not manufacture it with effort, you radiate it effortlessly from the core of your being. You are already the beloved. You are already loved. The confession is not a hope. It is a natural expression of the state you occupy. Persist in this consciousness. Refuse to let the outer world dictate your feelings. Refuse to let absence, silence, or delay persuade you that your desire is unfulfilled. The truth is in your inner life. If you live there as if it were done, as if the words have already been spoken and the embrace already felt, the outer world will align with that inner reality. This is not fantasy. It is the natural law of creation, the telepathy of feeling that no outer circumstance can resist. Every night, as you close your eyes, imagine the moment vividly. Hear the words, feel the eyes, sense the touch. Let your body tremble with the recognition of love already received. Persist. Let this state saturate every waking thought. The universe has no distinction between real and imagined in the mind that feels with conviction. Your beloved, your partner, your soul's mirror, they are drawn to the vibration of your fulfillment. You do not persuade, you do not push. You simply exist in the state of love, and the confession, the words, the proof, the recognition, all come to you as naturally as sunlight follows the dawn. Feel the joy now, feel the gratitude now, feel the celebration now. Do not wait for the outer, let the outer wait for the inner. Love is never late. It is only the mind that hesitates, only the imagination that doubts. Love is never late. Just this is life. When you live fully in the knowing, the universe bends, swirls, and arranges every circumstance to bring the outer world into harmony with your inner life. You are not asking, you are not longing, you are living the truth that has always been yours. And in this living, the confession cannot help but arrive. It must come. It is inevitable, it is natural, it is already done now. Imagine the sensation of that confession as though it were already a living reality. Let it fill your chest with warmth. Let it expand through every fiber of your being. Do not think of it as distant or conditional. Do not attach it to circumstances or time. These are illusions of the senses. What matters is the state you occupy now, the inner reality you nurture, the words of love, the eyes that meet yours with longing, the smile that lights the room. All of this exists first in the imagination. It is the seed from which the tree of your desire will grow. Persist in this inner scene with all the richness of your senses. Let it be complete in every detail. See it, hear it, feel it, touch it. Let every cell of your body believe in the reality of that love, for the body is a faithful servant of consciousness. The world outside is nothing more than the echo of your inner state. If your inner world vibrates with certainty and joy, the outer world cannot resist reflecting it. Every glance, every word, every subtle sign becomes proof that your imagination has already acted, that your love is already recognized and returned. This is the way true manifestation works, for the universe does not delay when it meets a mind and heart fully resolved in knowing. Think of the inner conversation you maintain with yourself. When you are filled with doubt, your inner voice whispers, "It may never happen," and that voice broadcasts uncertainty, which the world reflects. But when your inner voice is firm, confident, and joyous, when it whispers, "I am already loved," the confession is already made, the universe responds. It is the mind that creates, not the outer circumstances. If you would have love speak to you, you must speak it first within. If you would have someone come to you with words of devotion, you must first occupy that state in full. Let your imagination become so vivid, so alive, that you cannot distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. Let your heart feel the gratitude, the surprise, the delight, the warmth of being loved as though it has already happened. Hold this state in secrecy, in solitude, for it is not for the world to witness, but for your consciousness to inhabit. The confession, then, is a natural consequence, for the outer world always obeys the inner state. You are not waiting. You are living in the fulfillment of your desire. The power of telepathy is nothing mysterious. It is simply the effect of living in a feeling so vivid that it communicates to the one you desire. Thoughts are not confined to your head. Emotions are not isolated within your chest. They ripple outward like waves on water, touching others subtly, influencing events, drawing the necessary elements to your experience. When you inhabit the state of being loved, when your heart swells with the certainty of affection received, you transmit this reality as naturally as breathing. It is a silent, unseen influence, yet it is potent. The one who is meant to confess cannot resist the pull of your inner reality. You are the source, the signal, the irresistible current to which they are drawn. Do not fear or doubt the timing. Do not attempt to force or manipulate. Simply persist in the inner knowing. Let the feeling of love, of desire fulfilled, saturate your consciousness until the world outside must comply. This is not a trick. It is the natural law of creation. The world cannot contradict the state you persistently occupy. Your imagination is the key, your feeling is the lever, your faith is the engine. Every gesture, every small act, every seemingly coincidental encounter is a reflection of the state you occupy. You may notice a lingering glance, a message sent at the perfect moment, a smile that appears just when your heart longs for it. These are confirmations that your inner life is now shaping the outer world. If you allow yourself to feel disappointment, to fear delay, you interrupt the flow. But if you persist in the vivid living experience of love already present, every event aligns itself to support that reality. Imagine now that the confession is near. Hear the words as they are spoken. Feel the voice, the rhythm, the sincerity. Let your body respond with anticipation, your mind with gratitude, your soul with recognition. These moments, though unseen, are shaping reality even now. The outer world is simply catching up with what your consciousness has already created. You are not passive. You are the creator. You are the magnet. You are the reality in which the confession naturally occurs. Persist, endure, delight in the inner reality, and you will witness the outer manifestation. Love cannot be hurried, but it also cannot be delayed beyond the state you occupy. If you feel it, if you assume it, if you live it, it must appear. The universe has no power to resist a consciousness fully resolved. Every delay, every obstacle, every seeming resistance is only a test of your persistence in imagination. When your imagination is vivid, detailed, and emotional, when it is alive, as if the confession is already made, outer circumstances rearrange themselves effortlessly. You are not asking the universe to act, the universe is already acting because you have placed it into motion by the force of your inner certainty. This is the law. This is the method. You are the artist, the conductor, the author, and the audience of the reality you desire. Do not allow doubt to creep in. Do not allow hesitation to whisper that it is not possible. It is not only possible, it is inevitable. The confession is already yours. It has already been spoken in the theater of your mind, and the universe is simply bringing the performance into view for your senses to witness. You are not creating from lack, you are creating from abundance. You are not seeking, you are receiving. You are not hoping, you are knowing. Feel now the sweetness of this certainty. Let it fill your waking hours and your dreams. Every moment that passes with this awareness is a moment in which the universe organizes itself to match your imagination. You do not act in desperation, you act in the quiet joy of knowing. Every word spoken, every glance given, every silent sigh carries the weight of your inner state. Others respond not to your desires, but to the reality you inhabit. Persist in this, and you find that what once seemed distant is now near. What once seemed impossible, now inevitable. Your beloved's eyes meet yours with recognition. Their heart responds to the current of your feelings. Their words, their gestures, their very presence conforms to the state you occupy. There is no force greater than the state of consciousness you maintain. Nothing can resist it. Nothing can contradict it. Your imagination is the seed, your feeling is the sunlight, and the universe is the soil. Plant, nourish, persist, and the tree of love grows naturally, inevitably, beautifully. You need not chase. You need not plead. You need not doubt. You need only assume, persist, and delight in the experience as if it is already done. Every moment you do, the confession moves closer until the world aligns perfectly with the reality you have created. Now let us consider the depth of feeling required to bring such a confession into being. Love is not a casual thought, nor a fleeting desire. It is a living, breathing state that saturates your consciousness. When you allow yourself to feel it fully, when every nerve, every cell, every breath resonates with the certainty of being loved, you create a vibration so powerful that the outer world cannot help but respond. Do not mistake surface emotion for the profound state required. You must inhabit love completely, not as an idea, not as a wish, but as the undeniable reality of your present experience. Your imagination must be detailed, specific, alive with the textures, sounds, and movements of love already manifested. When you see your beloved, it is not a glance, it is a recognition of a reality that exists already in your consciousness. When they speak to you, it is not mere conversation, it is the echo of a state you have assumed. This is the art of manifestation, the subtle, unstoppable power of inner knowing. The universe cannot resist it. It must yield to a consciousness that has fully inhabited the fulfillment of its desire. Consider how often we wait for evidence in the outer world. We look for signs, for gestures, for words, as if the universe could act only when we have exhausted patience. But the outer is never the source. The source is always within. The confession you seek is not contingent on events, but on the state you maintain. Live as though it has already occurred. Speak to yourself in thoughts of joy, gratitude, and certainty. Let your imagination perform a sacred rehearsal every day and every night. Hear the words spoken, feel the eyes that shine, let your body respond to the touch, and let your heart swell with the fullness of what has already happened. This is not a practice in fantasy. It is a deliberate act of creation. Your inner reality is the blueprint. Your outer life is the manifestation. And when the outer world finally mirrors your inner state, it is not coincidence. It is the inevitable consequence of your persistent, unwavering assumption that you know. Telepathy is the invisible current that flows between minds, guided by feeling rather than words. When you are immersed in the state of being loved, when your heart vibrates with certainty and joy, that energy flows outward, influencing the one you desire in ways unseen, subtle, irresistible. They begin to feel the pull, the attraction, the silent insistence of your inner reality. Your imagination, your belief, your vivid experience of fulfillment communicates without sound or gesture. They cannot resist, for they are being drawn into the state you occupy. This is the law of consciousness. Nothing can prevent what you have fully assumed, what you have fully inhabited. The confession, when it comes, will not be forced, it will not be manufactured. It will be natural, inevitable, a reflection of the inner life you have persistently maintained. The world has no choice but to respond to the truth of your feeling. Every subtle sign, every seemingly coincidental moment is evidence that your inner reality is aligning with the outer world. A lingering glance, a word that strikes precisely the chord of your longing, a message arriving at the exact right moment. These are not accidents. They are the universe arranging circumstances to match the state you occupy. To miss these signs is to doubt the power of your own consciousness. To see them is to affirm the creative force within. You are the magnet, the source, the unseen influence. Persist in the assumption of fulfillment, and the outer world becomes a mirror of your inner certainty. Do not allow impatience or fear to disrupt the process. Each moment spent in the living experience of love brings you closer, shapes circumstances, and prepares the outer world to deliver the confession as naturally as sunrise follows night. Your inner life is the true cause. Your outer life is the effect. This is the principle that governs the manifestation of love. Now, focus on the body, on the senses, on the tangible reality of your imagined fulfillment. Hear the cadence of their voice as they confess. Feel the warmth in their gaze. Sense the tenderness of their hand. Let your body tremble with the joy of recognition. The more real this feels to your senses, the more your inner state solidifies, and the more inevitable the outer manifestation becomes. Do not ration this feeling. Do not dilute it with doubt or delay. Flood yourself with the richness of the experience. Sleep with it, wake with it, walk through your day in its reality. Every small act of attention, every moment of persistence in imagination brings the outer world closer to the exact scene you have created within. This is how true manifestation works. This is how a love confession, spoken with sincerity and drawn by inner certainty, becomes inevitable. It cannot fail because it is already done in consciousness. Your only task is to persist, to assume, to live in the feeling until the outer world conforms. Consider now the joy that arises from inhabiting this state. It is not dependent on timing, on circumstance, on the readiness of the other person. It is complete in itself. The universe arranges timing, circumstance, and opportunity to match your inner state. You are not waiting, you are already fulfilled. You are already loved. The confession exists as naturally as breath, as sunlight, as the rhythm of life itself. Your inner reality is so vivid, so convincing, so irresistible, that the outer world cannot resist aligning with it. This is the essence of creation. This is the power of imagination. This is the certainty of love manifested through the conscious assumption of fulfillment. Doubt, hesitation, anxiety, all these are obstacles only if you allow them to occupy your mind. If you persist in the living experience of love, the outer world becomes the echo, the mirror, the reflection of what is already accomplished. You do not plead, you do not convince, you do not chase. You simply assume, you simply persist, you simply delight in the certainty that the confession is already yours. And in this delight, in this certainty, the universe brings forth the outer manifestation effortlessly, beautifully, inevitably. Every day, every moment becomes a rehearsal for the confession you desire. Your imagination is vivid, your feeling is saturated, your consciousness is resolved. You see their eyes, you hear their voice, you feel the embrace, and you are grateful for it as though it has already occurred. The outer world cannot help but catch up with the richness of your inner experience. Subtle gestures, timely messages, perfect encounters. These are the language through which the universe communicates its alignment with your inner state. Persist. Persist in delight. Persist in certainty. The confession is not in the future, it is already present in consciousness, waiting for the outer world to reflect it. Your telepathic influence, your living assumption, your inner knowing, all of these converge to make what you desire inevitable. You are not hoping, you are not wishing, you are knowing. And this knowing moves the universe itself into alignment with your fulfilled state. Let us dwell now on the subtlety of your inner occupation. To manifest a love confession is not merely to imagine words spoken, it is to inhabit the entire reality of being loved completely, without hesitation. It is to feel the satisfaction, the joy, the recognition, as though it has already taken place. Close your eyes and sense it in your chest. Let it swell, let it resonate in your very being. Every nerve, every breath, every cell carries the vibration of this reality. Do not think in terms of time or steps. There is no waiting. There is no delay. When you persist in the state of fulfillment, the outer world must align. The law is inexorable. Your imagination, held with feeling and faith, creates the world around you. The confession you seek is merely the echo of the inner state you maintain. When you have fully inhabited it, the words, the glance, the gesture, the tender acknowledgement, all come naturally. There is no force required, no effort beyond the living assumption. The universe has no resistance to a consciousness fully resolved in certainty. It bends, it aligns, it delivers. Your only work is to persist, to feel, to know, to delight in the inner reality. Notice the influence of subtle telepathy when your mind and heart are fixed upon the reality of love. When your imagination is vivid and your feeling full, this state radiates outward, influencing those around you without their conscious awareness. They sense the pull, the magnetic certainty, the irresistible vibration of fulfillment. They respond not because you command or demand it, but because your state is an undeniable reality that cannot be ignored. Your persistent inner conviction creates an unseen current that guides circumstances, conversations, and encounters to the natural manifestation of your desire. Do not underestimate the power of this silent communication. The confession you long for, the declaration of love, the acknowledgement of your worth and desirability, all of these flow effortlessly to you when you hold the inner state with unwavering certainty. The outer world is simply the echo of your inner life. And when your inner life is complete, the outer world has no choice but to conform. Every small sign you encounter is a confirmation of your state. A lingering glance, a text that arrives just when your heart longs for it, a word spoken with perfect timing. All these are the evidence that your imagination has set the wheels of manifestation in motion. Do not dismiss these as coincidence. They are proof that your inner reality is now shaping the outer world. The confession is inevitable because you have already imagined it fully, lived it secretly, and felt it as though it were present. Your persistence, your belief, your unwavering joy in the inner reality ensures that the universe responds in kind. You are not waiting, you are creating. You are not pleading, you are assuming. You are not hoping, you are living in the fulfillment. And when the confession finally manifests, it will feel as natural and inevitable as the sun rising after night. This is the power of living assumption, the creative force of consciousness, the law of manifestation applied to the deepest desire of the heart. Imagine now the scene in your mind with complete clarity. Hear the voice, feel the touch, see the expression, absorb the warmth and intimacy of the moment. Allow your body to tremble with the joy of recognition, your heart to swell with gratitude, your soul to rejoice in certainty. Do not ration the feeling, do not hold back. Let it saturate every fiber of your being. As you persist in this inner reality,